Hello, I'm Thomas Carruthers.
I'm Will Leggetter.
Today, oh my God, Will, it's a big bumper episode.
Oh.
Bumper rumper. I was scheduling it, and well, originally this was going to be over the course of 2 months. I will now be setting sail on the seven seas, and so it's not going to be over 2 months now. It's going to be over a longer time, heading into 2023. But congratulations, thank you, Will. And no, I'm kidding. So it's going to be heading into 2023. So my initial 20 episodes over 2 months thing has sort of fallen out the window. So technically we could have spread these, but anyway, we're here because and also we're doing 3 company episodes, 3 Todd episodes. And so maybe some might see it as negligent that we are cramming 1 huge show, 1 minor show, and 1 like curiosity into the space of 1 episode. I know I've got a lot to say, but Will, why don't you sort of lead the way? Is there a lot for us to talk about today, or are you because you were a virgin with all 3 of these?
Yeah.
Is this a situation where 1 episode is more than enough, and these are 3 that you'll never return to? Or how do you tell us on a glance?
I've fallen in love with Do I Hear a Waltz?
Ooh, okay. All right. Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah. Okay. Nice. Whereas I am a weirdo and have fallen in love with well, we'll get to it. Now, do you want to just do this chronologically, I think, or do you want to do it in order of, I don't know what the order would be. Chronologically would be Anyone Can Whistle, Evening Primrose, Do I Hear a Waltz?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay then. Anyone Can Whistle.
Hi, hey, wait, voters. I see flags.
The way Anyone Can Whistle came about was extraordinary, really. I was living with my young children and my husband in Malibu at the time. This was 1961, I suppose. And one day I received a letter in the mail, a lovely blue envelope, very thin paper, and on the back it said Arthur Lawrence in blue. And I did not know Arthur Lawrence, but he obviously got my address and wrote me a personal letter saying that he and Stephen Sondheim had written this musical called Anyone Can Whistle.
What did you know of Anyone Can Whistle, Will? Because nothing, not even the title.
Not even Anyone Can Whistle.
Yeah. Did you know that it was this huge flop?
You previously mentioned that, yeah.
Yeah. Quick question, Will. How many performances did it run for officially on Broadway?
Oh, I'm going to say 9.
Yes, it was 9. Yes, I don't know why you phrased it as if you.
I'm going to guess there's 12 previews as well.
Do you have the books? Do you have Hatbox, the collected lyrics of
No,
Sondheim?
I don't.
That needs to be your big gift at Christmas. I said to my mum 2 years ago or whatever it was, I said, don't, because it's like 70 quid or something. It might be even more expensive.
I'll remind you again, it's my birthday next week, Tom.
Don't try and manipulate me, because I'm leaving soon for a while and into goodbyes and farewells. But yeah, it was this huge, tremendous flop. This is Sondheim working with Arthur Lawrence again. Just another king who we've talked about before with West Side Story and Gypsy, and who we will talk about again with Cuckoo. With Do I Hear a Waltz from his play Time of the Cuckoo. And more or less, it just bit off more than it could chew, it seems. I think there are many who declare it as this glorious cult classic. There are many who declare it as an absolute oddity. There are many who reclaim it. By the time that this is released, there will have been a London revival this past summer with non-binary casting and all sorts of modern flourishes. I won't have seen it because I'll have been on the seas. But Anyone Can Whistle itself, I think it's gone full circle now, and people love it so much and are like, it's their go-to. Well, my favorite Sondheim musical is Anyone Can Whistle, that I think actually people ignore a lot of those integral flaws that are still inherently there.
I did not enjoy Anyone Can Whistle
At all.
No.
You watched the Donna Murphy, Sutton Foster, Raul Esparza production, didn't you?
Yes.
That I sent you. That they did for Encores. And Encores is a series of productions on Broadway. That, I mean, sometimes they do Gypsy. That's how the Patapone Gypsy production started. But more often than not, they do try to stage these sort of forgotten shows. A lot of Sondheim's earlier work, a lot of initially failed shows have been staged at Encores. And Anyone Can Whistle was such a one. I watched and ended up watching, I listened to both albums. I watched 3 recordings. I watched Patty, I watched Madeline Kahn, I watched Donna Murphy. I have desperately mixed feelings, because I do think there is a good show in there. I really, really do. I think a lot of the songs are excellent. And I enjoy a lot of the songs.
Yeah.
I'm struggling for my 4 in actuality. I don't know what's going to take those 3rd and 4th spots. Is it a case where you're struggling to think of 4 favorites, or have you got a nice 4? Have you got a 4 that you're quite comfortable with?
I've got a 4 that I'm comfortable with.
Yeah. But it's not a case of me where I'm throwing up like a 6 and a 7 and an 8 that I don't know what to put in. Yeah. Well, let's talk about it then. Oscar Hammerstein said to Bert Shovelov, reportedly, Stevie needs a flop. Which, because it's not that he was getting too big for his boots. It was, I think, he was a little bit
jealous.
No. But I think, I don't know, because I've never seen I've always seen Sondheim as a tremendously modest man. In contemporary interviews, in modern interviews, in his writings from the time, in his writings looking back. I've just always seen him as an inherently modest man. And so when I hear Hammerstein say that, for me, that reads as coming from a point of view of knowing the industry and knowing from his own experience with Allegro, which Sondheim repeatedly refers to this as his Allegro, these, big concept musicals with these big ideas that just commercially and critically failed when they were first produced. I think Hammerstein did kind of see a lot of internal, perhaps knocking down a few pegs, or internal reckoning and realization and a sort of removal of naivete that Allegro did for them, and Anyone Can Whistle in many ways ultimately did for Sondheim. Because of course this bleeds into Do I Hear a Waltz, because although you have started your own private love affair with the show, it's a show that Sondheim greatly dislikes himself. It's a show that was filled with creative disputes. Nobody really liked each other. Sondheim's biggest regret with the show is that it deeply affected his friendship with Arthur Lawrence for so many years. The double bill of because one of Sondheim's biggest things with Anyone Can Whistle's failure was that he felt that Arthur Lawrence writing the book and directing missed that pivotal third voice to bounce things off. I mean, we talked earlier in West Side Story about that's my Spider-Man No Way Home is Sondheim pointing at Lawrence, pointing at Bernstein, pointing at Jerome Robbins, pointing at Hal Prince producing. That's like my dream team. I mean, those people working on one show, that's an insanity. And so you kind of get that, I feel, with Anyone Can Whistle. You're not going to get an entirely bad show. I mean, Arthur Lawrence is a terrific writer. Sondheim is, of course, a genius. Lawrence is a genius as well, sorry. And so you're going to get some great writing and you're going to get some great songs. However, overall, it is just a big, wrought mess with so many ideas. I mean, I'm going to jump the gun a little bit. But my basic statement, Act 3. By the time I got to Act 3, I was coming to this realization, is that A, it's far too long, and it's an absurdist farce without enough knowingness. Every production, so there's not enough knowingness in the original text. And so every single production that's ever been of Anyone Can Whistle either does it full pelt and tries to then infuse more knowingness and more Brechtian elements and more absurdity to go even harder, or tries to take it down a little bit, and that doesn't even work either. So I put every production tries to implant knowingness, but can only get so far with the original Lawrence script. From your experience with this show over the past couple of weeks, Will, what would you say on a first watch and a first listen and all these sort of things is the biggest failure for you? Why doesn't the show work, as you say, for you?
The story, if I'm honest, the book.
Yeah.
I think the book is its biggest flaw.
Well, I was reading the Wikipedia again, and I've just copied and pasted whole lines that I just want to read to you, just in a dry monotone voice, which we'll get to when we talk about it. But yeah, it's a big, messy book. We'll get to it. It started off as a musical about an architect. Sondheim. This is Sondheim's opening quote about the musical in Finishing the Hat, his book, what I just plugged, and he put, Arthur Lawrence and I shared a fondness for whimsy. Now, I think it's fair to say, Will, of the two of us, you enjoy whimsy more than I do. The most famous approximation I say is that I am more a fan of the Monty Python films than I am of the original series, such as I'm not actually a huge Monty Python fan as it is. Will's frozen. Will's back. Yes, but no, you were just going to say Vic and Bob, weren't you?
Did I leave? Yeah, I like Vic and Bob, that sort of stuff. Sorry, I've got no head. Did you just watch that?
I didn't like
Maybe
Sorry,
my
I've
bees
Got
can
No
help.
Head. I didn't like Sorry, I've Got No Head. I did like Shooting Stars with Vic and Bob. But yes, my penchant for absurdity can only go so far. I am a very boring man. I famously say I like rules. Whenever me and Will have wrote, I think it was Hitler Carol, which was our A-level piece, which was a Christmas Carol, like dark farce retelling where what if the three ghosts came to see Hitler, and it got to a point where where I was trying to talk about rules, and it was like, well, no, we've not said that they're the rules of the ghosts, and then like people would say that doesn't matter because this is ridiculous, and I go, no. it needs to be strict, and it needs to be adamantine, and which is in many ways, I mean, well, no, League of Gentlemen's beat me down, because I think it's dark farce.
Yeah.
Like too much joyous women. Like Big Mouth is a show that I don't enjoy, even though it has many of my favorite people currently working on it.
I love Big Mouth.
Yeah. Where it's
got a bit crude for you, hasn't it?
No, I like crudity. I like crudity, but I think for me it's South Park versus Big Mouth. Like watching these past South Park pandemic specials, they are absolutely completely absurd, but they make complete sense in the rules that this world has created. Whereas Big Mouth, just everybody has a monster, but then some people can see the monsters, but then some people can't, and then it's the ghost of Duke Ellington, and then it's the ghost of
introducing, yeah.
And it's like every gay ghost in the world is up in the attic and going, wait a minute, why doesn't he have a gay monster? Why it loses, and then the pillow sex and all that sort of thing. And I'm just gone. That's me. But and I think so. I wonder why. Whereas, Will, of course, I love dramas about middle-aged, sad, alcoholic women, and yet you've preferred Do I Hear a Waltz to Anyone Can Whistle, and surely it should be the other way around, you'd think.
No, not really.
No, why don't you think that?
I think there's a difference between farce and something that's badly written.
Okay, very true. Yeah, well, no, because you can have a bad farce, of course.
Oh, yeah.
But I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. This isn't, yes, a farce needs to be scientific. It needs to be literally constructed like a building for it to pay off in that final half an hour. Whereas this is just absurd, I would say.
Yeah.
Howard Taubman, in his New York Times review, wrote that Lawrence's book lacks the fantasy that would make the idea work, and his staging has not improved matters. Mr. Sondheim has written several pleasing songs, but not enough of them to give the musical wings. The performers yell rather than talk and run rather than walk. The dancing is the cream. Now, I'm guessing that the dancing is the cream is a typo, but I have no idea what it was originally. So we'll just have to leave that there. 9 performances on Broadway, and they recorded the album the day after they closed. Angela Lansbury sort of prophetically says, you can hear it in the singing. There's a sadness there. And I don't know if I can hear that sadness, but it's rather a tragic. It is a tragic tale. Flying. Do you think, because it obviously is a messy show, and it obviously is, but there are hundreds of worse shows than this.
Oh, yeah.
I would rather watch this any day over, I don't know, a Be More Chill, which I enjoyed, but felt so clean and like unoriginal.
Yeah. I saw it. Well, you can say that about any show. Be More Chill obviously has its Michael in the bathroom, superb stuff like that. My main issue with Be More Chill is it looks awful. The set is terrible. It
looks awful. It's just Little Shop of Horrors. It's just literally Little Shop of Horrors. Some of the music's good. Sondheim famously left after the first act. But no, I had a great time at the theatre, but it just grew it was just rather unoriginal and rather very clean. Whereas I wish I could have seen this big messy flop on its first week. Maybe I'm just a Sondheim diehard, and maybe I'm just a cultist and all that sort of thing. But yeah, also in the New York Times review, there is no law against saying something in a musical. but it is unconstitutional to omit imagination and wit. In an attempt to be meaningful, anyone can whistle forgets to offer much entertainment. That's in a nutshell, really, isn't it? Except I disagree, because I think the character of the mayoress is hilarious, and Donna Murphy and Madeline Kahn and Paddle. I think the character of the mayoress is definitely the show's strongest suit.
Yes.
Whereas I think the love story between Faye Apple and Dr. Hapgood is less so.
You say this, however, I mean, Could Play With Me is definitely in my top 4.
Thank you. You have given me the liberty. You have given me the availability to put Come Play With Me in my top 4. That was one of my 5. I'm ready to knock out whatever we don't have in common. Good, because that's the dare I say it, Sondheim, I'm sorry, that's the hummable one. That's the one you've been singing all week. I mean, I've been singing Me and My Town. But again, I'm a sadist. This is Angela Lansbury. The rehearsals were wrought with disagreements, upsets, drama. Everybody was going crazy, running up and down, and it wasn't my style at all. The music of Anyone Can Whistle was certainly very unusual. It wasn't particularly melodic. It was all about lyric. Now, Will, famously at the end of last episode, I'll say it, railed poor Angela Lansbury. Will, this episode, do you know what the new release date of this episode is?
What?
Thursday, the 8th of December. Today.
What are you trying to say?
I'm not trying to say anything, Will. Today is February. I want all the viewers to know that, because if something happens like, I don't know, an Anyone Can Whistle revival or something, or some sort of big news, I don't know. Some sort of big news. I just want everybody to know that this was recorded in February, before the December. And Will can post a little Instagram apology if anything does happen, such as an Anyone Can Whistle revival. That's the only thing that could happen, and Anyone Can Whistle.
That's the only thing that can happen.
The only thing that could happen. It opened in Philadelphia. Oh, sorry. Let's talk about Angela Lansbury. What did you think of Angela on the original Broadway recording? I'm guessing you didn't like her.
She was all right on this.
Ah, good.
Yeah. She didn't do a classic. I don't know what you're on about. The thing, the way I could describe Angela Lansbury to me is right. So she's English, isn't she?
Yes, she is. Yeah.
Yes. But everything she does sounds like an American doing English.
Okay, I can kind of see that. And all of her American accents sound vaguely English.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Also, I don't. I don't like her tone. I don't like your tone, Ange. But it's like, you know, the way kids are taught to sing nowadays. I've talked about this many times. Sort of Matilda, everything's overpronounced. She does that, but so far that then I can't even understand what she's saying. And breathe, woman, breathe.
You want a Patty, don't you? You want a. She was great, by the way. I watched that version. She was great. Not my favourite mayoress, though.
Patty impression this I sent you.
No, I thought he was pretty weak.
Yes,
I thought I couldn't do that, but anybody can do that.
You should start TikTok.
I should. I probably should. Sorry, let me clear my throat. Here we go. You'll be handed power on a plate. What's the line that my ex always used to? What's the Evita line? Oh, where you'll be handed power on a plate. When I showed my ex Evita, she hated it when Evita was mean. So
that's the idea. She's an awful person.
So she always lied to herself and said, no. It's where you'll be handed power on a plate. And I said, no, blank. It's not that. Weird that
Did she just not watch Good Night and Thank You? Did she skip that one?
she liked that one because she fancied Antonio Banderas, and it wasn't awkward because she said I had a look of him. Now I don't know if that was true or not. I think I was just tanned. She didn't like. You know what it is? The scene. Do you know the scene in the film where Juan Perón goes to knock on her door?
I don't. I've not seen the film, Tom. You know this.
Ever?
No.
So you're lying then when you say you don't like Madonna because you haven't seen it.
I've listened to it.
Well, we're doing an Evita episode, whether you like it or not. I'll gag you and tie you down. Did I ever tell you that they offered Patty the role of she really brightened up your out of town.
Now an engagement.
And she said, how dare you? She said, how dare you? They were literally going to offer her the role of Evita's mother. And you can you obviously know what Patty's reaction was to that. It opened in Philadelphia to hostile notices and some audience booing. The first preview, a fire broke out in the ladies' room and sent smoke through the entire theatre. Arthur Lawrence had to go and calm the audience. Then there's two legitimate tragedies. In one of the ballets, a dancer ran forward and overshot his dance and landed in the pit and landed on an instrumentalist. And the announcement. Oh, you're gonna love this, Will. The announcement was made. All that happened was an instrument was dented. That musician went to the hospital and with his dented instrument, had a heart attack and died. Do you want to make your rim shot noise again?
Not really.
Dead silence. Dead silence. This is going to be a great one for you when railing Angela Lansbury, the family of a dead instrumentalist, come out against you. And Herb Lasco, who was playing the role of, I think, Comp Controller Shube. I think that's a real name. I got a real Zeusian vibe from all of this. I don't know about you.
I watched Susical this morning.
Comp Controller Humberflube. How about that? That would have been better.
Fire.
Hello, this is Mr. Humberflube. A monster? Where? Oh, I don't want Zeusical the musical. I want Cat in the Hat the musical with Alec Baldwin and Mike Myers. That's what I want. I listened to Alec Baldwin's podcast. Here's the thing. I'm Alec Baldwin, and here's the thing. And he's got that beautiful voice. And he should. And all I can think of is him taking off that stomach brace. Hey, you whizzed on my taco. Anyway, before we do any more of Cat in the Hat. So yes, Herb Lasco, who was originally cast as the guy who's the mayoress's assistant. And basically the way it's told, he had a heart attack and died before they went to New York also. And Arthur Lawrence has said, we were just killing them off. Just very dry from Lawrence there. But the way that Lawrence and Sondheim both tell it is that Lansbury wasn't really getting the role. She was being overpowered by Herb Lasco. And the minute that the less comfortable understudy came in, it really gave Lansbury a chance to shine. And then obviously she blew everybody away. Because she is sensational. In this critic's eyes. There was a fist fight in the alley of the Schubert Theatre between Lawrence and the producer, Kermit Bloomgarden, because of Lawrence asking for more time and just a massive fight. Right. So let's talk about the show number by number. So this is the thing. There are a handful of gags in this that are genuinely hilarious. And the first gag is one of them. The story is set in an imaginary town that has gone bankrupt. Its former majority industry was the production of an unidentified product that never wore out. Everyone now has one and no one needs a replacement. That's a hilarious gag to open this show. And if the whole show was that sort of tone, we'd have a lot to be thankful for. We'd have a lot to, I don't know. Where do you think there is a imbalance of that sort of comedic tone, Will? Or do you think,
Precisely, it doesn't know what it wants to be.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
Me and My Town, the first song. Lovely introduction, I feel, to the Mayoress. Funny, delightful, weird Latin breakout with a mini dance that's quite reminiscent of Buenos Aires, weirdly enough.
Yeah, I would say I love a Latin breakout. And the money kept rolling in as well. Whoppa!
What do you prefer, Wumpa or Watch Cry? Because I don't. I know which I prefer. Watch Cry.
Don't like that at all.
We'll get to that in a minute. I love that instead of them shouting, Mambo, Mambo, they're shouting, bankrupt, bankrupt. Again, really funny gag. And I think the on-course production that we both watched, I watched others, but that one, that's directed by Casey Nicholaw, who has done The Prom, who has done Book of Mormon, who has done other things. He's a great director. And I think he gets really close to bringing out as much comedy and quality as you can from this piece. However, as I've already said, I think there are...
Sorry, I'm getting ads.
You're getting an ad?
Yeah.
What was the ad for, Will?
I opened a YouTube link.
Why are you opening a YouTube link, Will? You are a professional podcaster.
Didn't think the sound would happen. No, I'm just opening up the encores again, just so I can follow it through visually.
Oh,
yeah.
Very visual of you.
Not that there's much to see in the encores.
Did you just not like it at all?
No.
What was, before we go in number by number, what was your biggest positive?
Biggest positive?
Yeah.
But am I allowed to say the concept?
You just rallied against the concept.
No, the story itself, the concept of this bankrupt mayor making up this whole, that's really good.
Yeah, that's really great. And then I think I completely agree with you. The problem is this cookie jar.
It's just an asylum.
Who's crazy? Who's not? Who's crazy?
My favorite part of the Encores video he sent me was, so right at the end they do like they talk a bit, don't they? And sometimes
yes,
there's a bit where he just puts his head in his hands and he looks so sad.
But I also think he has always loved the show. This isn't like Do I Hear a Waltz? I just read all of his talking about Anyone Can Whistle. And the first thing he talks about in that Q&A is, people keep telling me how great a show it is. It was great in '64. That's like his go-to line. I think he's bitter about this. I think he thinks this is another excellent show. I think this was just, they didn't get it.
Was it a Rocky Horror?
Not as how can this be Rocky Horror? The songs aren't easy to sing. The book, how can people learn all of the lines to this? I'm a cookie. No, you're not. Come control a shoob. Come over here. I think there is a version. I think there is a big camp film that I can make. I will make it.
I will do it.
I will do it. Where I cut, I don't know, 5 minutes at minimum. I think a big camp, glorious 2-hour movie can be made of this film. Or do you think it's just inherently flawed?
Why watch this when you can watch The Producers?
Are you just saying why watch any comedy musical when you can watch The Producers?
Yeah, I also watched The Producers this week.
Is that film underrated, or is it just like a very...
Which one?
Oh, no, the Mel Brooks isn't underrated at all, and is an excellent film. The Matthew Broderick, Nathan Lane.
Yeah.
Or is it just the best? I don't know. Is it just the best filmed National Theatre Live ever? To me, it just feels like...
Really?
It feels very, very staged. It doesn't feel like a film, and it does feel like an NT Live. I mean, it obviously doesn't, because there's sets and there's montages and all those sort of things. I don't know. But also, it's been a while since I've watched it.
You should watch it.
I should watch it. I mean, The Producers is one of my...
I'd be a great Matthew Broderick, and you'd be a great Nathan Lane.
That is very true. Yes, that is very true. Yeah. Me and my town, grass on the sidewalk, but not in the park. As an opening number, Will, does it set the scene, and does it give us the characters? Does it set the comedic tone?
I think it does. It's very, very uplifting, very jovial song. In comparison to sort of what this sort of person in power that you've been introduced to. It's kind of like a mismatch. I think that does set the tone well. I've actually put this in my top 4.
So have I.
Oh, hey.
So have I. I'm interested what the top 4 is going to be. Anyway, there's a lot of there's a very Brechtian quality, dare I say, to this. And I mean, you know how much.
We do like Brecht.
Do I? Yeah, but this is the thing. Do I like Brecht when it's me
I think
writing?
You are your own practitioner.
Yeah, yes. What are the elements of me as a practitioner, Will?
Everything's linked by song.
I do like song.
I don't know. It's sort of. Do you like song? I can't. It's always domestics.
Yes, there are.
There's always one outrageous character that everyone hates, but the audience loves.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, me.
Yeah, played by you
in real life. So, Baby Joan. What is this? Is this a reference to Gypsy or not? Because it's not in any way like Baby June. It's not like she's got an oppressive mother or some sort of comedy. She's just called Baby Joan. Now, in the book, Sondheim says, Lawrence wrote it as a joke, leading Baby Joan, Baby June, leading people to ask, whatever happened to Baby Jane? But nobody's going to ask that. They're just going to say, who is Baby June? Anyway, Miracle Song. I think it's rather delightful. And I originally have it in my top 4.
I originally had it in my top 4 as well, but then I took it out.
Okay, that's fine. So I could swap that for Come Play With Me. Well, anyway, we'll see where we go. Lovely gospel rhythm to it as it builds and the mania. I think it's rather great. I think it's a great number. And it is, as you say, the strongest suit of this show.
It gets a bit chaotic at times, me and my sound, a bit too noisy, I think.
What about
washing up with your...
Yes, that's weird. You mean Miracle Song, don't you? Not Me and My Town.
Oh, sorry, I do mean Miracle Song.
Because I put on my Best of the Musicals playlist one time when, at the end of summer, when I was in accommodation and we were all cleaning the kitchen to get our fee back, our deposit back. And I literally just put that on and we cleaned for 3 hours or whatever. And this came on and it was like pleasant to begin with. And then I know exactly what bit you're talking about. It's the Lord said, let them be one. And then then like the overlapping things. And there was Leanne, who'd been completely quiet for 2 hours and was singing along to Les Mis and all these sorts of things, just went, what the hell is this? But I do like it, I have to say. Then we meet Dr. Faye Apple. Now, and the cookie jar. Is there a show where these two things come together and work? Or is it just two like diametrically opposing ideas that don't mix?
I reckon there is.
I mean, yeah, of course. Yeah, if 10,000 monkeys sit at a typewriter. Anyway, okay, let's talk about how much I hate Sutton Foster. Did you know I hate Sutton Foster?
I think I did.
I hate Sutton Foster. I find her shrill. I find her annoying. Don't think she can act. I just don't like her. That's the end of the story, really. And so my preferred Faye Apples are Bernadette Peters, are Audra McDonald. I don't know. The way she sings There Won't Be Trumpets, a fine song, but I've put here, a fine song that if not sung by the right actress can seriously lead to Dr. Apple coming off as bland and uninteresting. I don't like Sutton Foster. And on a first watch, that made me dislike the character of Dr. Apple and find her to be this absolutely absurd person that I just did not like. And then when I watched Audra McDonald, I was like, oh, this is what that character can be. And Bernadette, of course. Oh, don't blame my cookies.
Oh, Bernadette. Did you not enjoy Sutton in The Music Man?
I haven't seen it yet.
No.
Nobody's seen it yet. And we won't. Gentlemen.
This girl could have played anyone.
This girl. Oh, God. That's all unrecorded. That was just us being drunk. Because we were doing, it was for the quiz, wasn't it? Like, we had to stay up until like 1 a.m. And so we were and so we were absolutely sleep deprived and going mad. And we just kept riffing on Hugh Jackman's appreciation of understudies video for like 3 hours, for an hour, just going, this woman could have played the Phantom of the Opera. She knows every single role on Broadway. She could have played all 12 roles in this. She could have played me. She could have played anybody. And wow. You are keeping Broadway alive. But we do love Hugh Jackman. She's a lady. Basically, the cookie speech before There Won't Be Trumpets is this glorious speech, and this is great. And it's this great funny speech, which originally led to There Won't Be Trumpets being cut from the show, because Lee Remick, who originally played Dr. Faye Apple, was a far better actress than she was a singer. And so she did this speech.
Sondheim likes that, doesn't he?
Yes, but not in this case, because she was so good at acting the monologue that she tore the house down and got a large applause. Then she sang There Won't Be Trumpets, and it was like, okay, that was still good, but not as good as the speech. Whereas Audra McDonald does the speech, wows everybody, does the trumpets, big, huge finish. It's this 10-minute build to a rapturous applause rather than 5 minutes. Oh, yeah, okay. I mean, it's a nice song. Sondheim, lifelong friends with Lee Remick until her death. We will be talking about her again in the Follies, in our second Follies episode. Sondheim and Anthony Perkins famously used to do these murder mystery nights and these puzzle nights. And Lee Remick famously, Lee Remick failed one of the puzzles because she ate one of the cupcakes on arrival, and those cupcakes had the letters that would solve the first puzzle on them. And she just ate one. But I do love Lee Remick. There Won't Be Trumpets. Originally, it was called There Won't Be Heroes. It didn't have the consonant sound that Sondheim wanted. But like, I've put here, what's the message of this song? A hero must come along, but not without theatrical effects. Now, that's quite an inane comment, but does it kind of undermine Faye's urgency and identity as a hero herself? There won't be trumpets when a hero there are heroes in this world, There must be a hero. I'm not it. How do you feel?
It's those trumpet introductory song. I think this is more of an end of act two. Well, if you talk about three acts, if you're on about a normal musical, mid act two redemption song, rather than, I think his intro needs to be more zany.
Shall we dance? I think better on my feet. Speaking of which, Dr. Hapgood arrives. I quite like Dr. Hapgood as a character. Maybe it's because obviously I would be up for Hapgood. That's the role that in this that I would play. But I like him. Again, he's quite funny. But again, he's betrayed by the book. As we'll get to. Let's talk about simple. The line before it is, it's quick and easy. This is 15-minute descent into absolute chaos, which obviously is the point, and obviously is intentionally disastrous and messy. Or is it just terribly, terribly, terribly annoying? Watch cry, watch cry.
I've seen Simple. A lot of people very highly rate this song.
Yeah. Why? I mean, well, this is the thing. As an achievement, and in staging, it's marvelous. I remember, right, Scenes from an Italian Restaurant by Billy Joel was cobbled together from 3 random melodies that he'd already written and he hadn't finished. This feels like A Woman's Place is in the Home. That's the song. They're all like little fragments. I don't, it's just annoying. It's just annoying to me. And we talked about this with Baby June. What's the difference between an annoying song and an annoying character? What's the difference between intentional annoyingness and just being annoying? And for me, this is just, it's just, and it only leads into my biggest problem with the show and yours. This cookie jar stuff that isn't given enough stuff compared to the miracle.
Although, regardless, with Baby June, you can say, yeah, there's a difference between an annoying character being intentionally or an annoying song. Either way, I'm annoyed.
Yes. I saw a lot of this with the Matrix Resurrections and people saying, no, some of the fight scenes are intentionally bad. Fuck off. That's just not true. It's just not true. Who wants to make a bad movie?
It's like with that scene in Licorice Pizza that was intentionally bad.
What do you mean? Are you trying the racism scene?
No, I'm just trying to wind you up.
You're trying to wind me up because Will's now seen Licorice Pizza and he was like, oh, it's okay.
In Tom's words, it was fine.
Oh, don't you dare use my words against me, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. Hilarious line that got no laughs in the encore production is, do you ever worry that you don't exist? No, sir. I know I don't. That's hilarious. That's just a really funny line. Just absolutely descends into a cacophony of noise, and it's not enjoyable to listen to. It might be enjoyable to watch. It was his only time improvising with a writer, like literally at the piano. Him and Lawrence were throwing out ideas, and the way that he describes it is, we both knew that we were the most clever kids in class, and I think that's what it reeks of. Is it too clever by half and not actually enjoyable? Lawrence, the interrogation.
I'll take that.
Arthur Lawrence, the interrogation sequence which closed the first act is still, I believe, the best musical sequence done in the theatre. Its trouble was that we were never able to top it. What the hell? the biggest strength of the first act is this ending. As the extended musical sequence ends, the lights black out, and except for a spotlight on Hapgood, who announces to the audience, "You're all mad." Seconds later, the stage lights are restored, the stage set has vanished, and the cast is revealed in theatre seats, holding programmes, applauding the audience and laughing at them. Now, that's an incredible idea and very revolutionary, and it would later be used in Marie de Sade and all that sort of thing. But is its place in this musical?
Yeah, probably, because you're not going to put it in anywhere else.
The first Sondheim, the first act has a glib, smug tone that is sometimes funny and often clever, but more often irritatingly arch. There's a very thin line between smart and smartass, and we overstepped it. The second and third acts were a better mix of satire and feeling. Love him, absolute king. He knows everything. He is just the best. He is the best. We're into Act 2 now. Hooray for Hapgood. So each of these three acts, this is in the 3-act musical structure, which is a thing that just doesn't exist anymore. No. And barely existed by the time that this came out. And
you tried to revive it a bit.
In what?
You like to write 3-act plays.
3-act play is different.
Is
a
it?
3-act play, people are like, yeah, I'm going to sit through 4.5 hours of drama and want to die. Nobody wants to sit through a 3-act musical. I mean, I think it's more so a structural thing, though, because this runs at 2 hours 20. It's not a long show. There's no interval between the second act and the third act. I think it's just so a weird structural choice. Like, this second act is mostly played out in the bedroom of Hapgood and Faye Apple, and they're just exchanging songs. Another stranger, a French woman in a feathered coat, appears. It is really Faye Apple in disguise. She introduces herself as the lady from Lord's, a professional miracle inspector, come to investigate the miracle. Start here. Cut all the cookie stuff. There's this woman, and she hates people taking advantage of idiots, and she is a real professional miracle inspector. And then she reveals herself to be fake. I'm not French, I'm a fraud myself. That's a show. Come play with me. Outrageous French accents and voice. Have you listened to the original Broadway cast? Harry Gordino on that original cast recording. Musha Bella. Lovely stuff. And an entire song precedented on my theory of the how you say accent trick. I famously, my trick with accents is to just how you say read a book. Just put how you say in the middle of a line, and you immediately, the accent comes better. And this is an entire song precedented on that. Yeah. More plot, and it is in our, well, it's going to be in our top 4. I don't know what song it's going to bump off mine yet, but we'll get to that. Hapgood, however, sees through her disguise and wants to question her first. Faye refuses to take her wig off and confesses to him that this disguise, left over from a college play, is the only way she can break out of her rigid and cynical persona. Okay. I mean, bit much. Maybe a bit too much plot line there, perhaps. Then we get Anyone Can Whistle. Now, is Anyone Can Whistle in your top 4?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Well, it will be. Anyone Can Whistle.
Will it?
Yeah, it will. We have to have Anyone Can Whistle in the ultimate Sondheim song canon. This is one of the most famous Sondheim songs. I'll forgo another song. That's fine by me.
Okay.
I was thinking the other day about Company, because we're coming on to Company, and I was like, wait, that's a show where I literally love every song as much as the other. And I have no idea how I'm going to do a top 4. Exciting stuff. It has the exact same setup as Send in the Clowns. Sad woman stood on a bed whilst a man talks to Sondheim rejects the idea of many critics who state
I
that
think being alive.
You think being alive what?
Will win company.
Yeah, probably. A parade in town. It came from Lansbury saying that she wanted another song that gave her character more dimension. They then had a little interchange. Sondheim was like, no, your character has lots of dimension. And then she said, well, Lee has 5 songs and I have 4. And then Sondheim wrote her A Parade in Town, which is a great song, I have to say. This is the sort of Brechtian stuff I really don't like. We need a new plot line.
Oh, no, I don't know. Oh, that wasn't in the script. Stuff like that.
Can somebody, new set, please? Ugh. Mayoress line I do enjoy. Oh, fine, very well. I will marry him. Invites everybody over for a foursome orgy at her house. My God, that's a woman who can handle a crowd. Just great stuff. Then everybody says don't. Ramping, building tension, ultimate message of freedom and fun loving. I'm guessing this is in your 4 because you usually put in a song that you can sing.
No.
Oh, well, I have no idea what you've picked.
Then. Oh, it is actually.
No,
it's literally just there. Yeah, it is. Everybody says don't is in there.
Yeah,
because it's a song.
Harry Gordino was an studio actor, and refused to take vocal training, and had to repeatedly talk the songs after losing his voice entirely several times in the run. He was just like, I'm an actor. It's like, okay, but you're trained in acting, not in singing performance. That's a very different thing. What's that really? And then as Act 3 is probably the weakest for me. Got You to Lean On, delightful song. See Where It Gets You, again, fun song, ends with that terrible whistle, you know. And if I tried. That was Bernadette singing it. The Cookie Chase. What?
The Cookie Chase? You seemed happy when you said that.
Yeah, I don't know why. I like opening gag, very funny. Are they breathing? Then the cookies. That's very funny. I've put here beautiful comedic ballet. So I must have enjoyed it when I first watched it. However, it's had no lasting memory. Stephen Susskind wrote in his 2000 book about Broadway composers, the fascinating extended musical scenes with extended choral work immediately marked Sondheim as the most distinctive theatre composer of his time. The first act sanity sequence and the third act cookie chase are unlike anything that came before. Yes, they most certainly are. However, there is a far better version of Simple called Once Upon a Time. And that, yeah, for me, that's a better introduction of dialogue and music for an extended 15-minute sequence and all that sort of thing. With So Little to Be Sure Of ends the entire show. Beautiful song, but it's just like, are we actually investing? I mean, I guess that's entirely dependent on the production. But
I really like all of the reprises of Bluebird.
The reprises of Bluebird. Yeah, they're nice. You haven't put them in your top 4, have you?
No.
No. Yeah, they're all nice. It's a fine third act, and it does work like a third act should in a 3-act piece, you know, like everything's coming back now.
Yeah.
It's less of a capper, more of a everything's coming back. Faye returns to the rock, calling for Hapgood. When he doesn't answer, she tries to whistle and succeeds in blowing a shrill, ugly whistle. Hapgood appears again, saying that's good enough for me. As they embrace, the water begins flowing from the rock. A true miracle this time. Good ending, I guess. let's talk production history. Huge, tremendous failure. And the next big time it was put on was for an AIDS benefit 90s Carnegie Hall concert, which has the album, which is probably my favorite recording. And it's Madeline Kahn, who's definitely my favorite mayoress. Madeline Kahn, one of my favorite women, just absolute, one of my favorite comedians, one of my favorite everythings. Bernadette Peters, Chip Zane, Scott Bakula. It's just absolutely sensational. I think it's wonderful. I think it has all the comedy. I think it's absolutely brilliant. In 2003, Sony reissued the original Broadway cast recording. 2 revivals were staged that year, one in London and one in Los Angeles. The Encore's production that we talked about. A London production of Anyone Can Whistle opened at the Jerome Street Theatre Studio in London in association with Primavera Productions, directed by Tom Littler. It had Rosalie Craig, who I don't like.
Do you not?
I thought you knew that I don't like Rosalie Craig. Oh yeah. Then there was another production, another concert presentation with Vanessa Williams, Santino Fontana, and it's like, I don't get all these like script presentations. It just, for me, the only way for this show to work now is for somebody to stage a full-blown production. Just throw the biggest budget you can at it.
Yeah.
I think with all these like scripted presentations and people reading them, it's like, ha ha ha, we know it's not great. And I think that's what sort of halts it a little bit. Look at this oddity. This is a chance for you to see this oddity. I don't think anybody's gone fully in and given us than Anyone Can Whistle that has maxed out the show's possible capability.
What is that?
A yawn. Oh, that is a tea coaster. Delightful, I know. Dream casts. Barbara Streisand was up for Faye Apple, but ended up in Funny Girl instead. Good choice, Barbara. I've just put the same people I always put here. Christine Baranski as the mayoress would be great. I've put here Anna Kendrick as Faye Apple.
Could see that. I've put Antonio Banderas in Hapgood.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but you wouldn't believe him in any of the second act. He's like, I do not believe I am strong. I do not believe I am a powerful man.
I am just a cat.
I am just a cat. If it cut back to them reading folders on that bed, nobody would watch Antonio Banderas in bed with a woman and not say they have definitely had full sex. They've not been reading folders. Everybody says don't, everybody says don't, everybody says don't, it isn't right, don't, it isn't fair. You love Antonio Banderas. Company! Company is our company, lots of company.
I love that video.
It's a very fun video. I've put here, can Paul Rudd sing?
Oh, no, that's a good casting.
But the only time we've heard him sing is at the end of 4-Year-Old Virgin when he sings, and the moon is in the summertime, like the sunshine. And I put here, can Bill Hader sing? We know he can't. But he famously doesn't like singing and doesn't want to sing. But we could, maximize the power couple of Anna Kendrick and Bill Hader. No, but I think our dream cast, Anna Kendrick, Christine Baranski, and Antonio Banderas. I would watch that right now. What's cry? What's cry? He doesn't say what's cry. He just says, what does this say? Whoppa! Great. And you have 2 wives. You have 2 televisions. And you are crazy. Love
What's
Antonio.
that movie? Where Antonio Banderas...
Mask of Zorro.
No, I don't know if it's him or someone else is having an affair with the other person's wife, and they meet in a coffee shop and play chess in Italy.
I think you have talked about this movie before.
I think I might have.
And we Googled it then.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Okay, Antonio Banderas. We're going to pause for one moment. We have found it. It's The Other Man, the story of a husband who suspects his wife of adultery and sets out to track down the other man in her life. And it's Liam Neeson getting cooked by Antonio Banderas, married to Laura Linney. And it's directed and written in part by Richard Eyre, who directed one of my favourite movies, Notes on a Scandal. And literally the first IMDb picture is Antonio Banderas and Liam Neeson playing chess. I want to watch this movie now.
We should do it on the podcast.
From the author of The Reader. How far would you go? Here's some taglines. Is knowing the truth worth living a lie? That's pretty basic. Yeah, definitely do it on the podcast. I love erotic thrillers, as we know. Okay, top 5 lyrics, Will, for Anyone Can Whistle. I have here, last week a flood, this week a drought, even the locusts want to get out, but me and my town, we never pout. You're first.
If I'm not ready and light-headed, I can't stand here dumb. So ready or not, here I hope I come.
Yeah. Water is a bloom, will soon be in clover. Better if you stock my rock runneth over. I haven't listened to one recording where somebody hasn't really enjoyed saying my rock runneth over. You can just like hear them loving it. Are they breathing? Then they're cookies. Are they moving? Then they're cookies. Are they living? Then they're cookies. However, my favorite is undoubtedly the play is the how you say is the thing. Yes.
I wanted to put something from that song in, but I was like, how do I, what bit, what do I do?
It's definitely the play is the...
I do like...
your other top lyrics from Anyone Can Whistle?
Other one I got down was, in Anyone Can Whistle itself, I can dance a tango, I can read Greek easy, I can slay a dragon, any old Greek easy.
What's hard is simple. Oh, beautiful. Which leads us on to our top 4 songs. I'm going to say...
I'm getting the word.
I'm getting a word. Right. Everybody Says Don't is a lock. Me and My Town is a lock.
Yep.
I have Miracle Song and Anyone Can Whistle. What do you have?
I've got Come Play With Me and See What It Gets You.
Okay. I think Come Play With Me knocks out Miracle Song. And... Well, yeah. Because I'm guessing of those two, you'd choose Come Play With Me, wouldn't you? Over... If I get one and you get one. Yeah. I don't mind Sondheim to end. I don't mind putting my name on a flop as long as we've done something that hasn't been tried before. Fair enough. Do you want to put the 4 songs in now, or do you want to put them in later?
We'll put them in now. Put them in now.
So you get it up, Will. I'm not going to share screen because the last time I shared screen, the entire thing crashed. Let's rank them within themselves. I'd say, what's your top? I'd say it has to be Anyone Can Whistle, but you're not going to agree.
Really? I would say Come Play With Me is probably my top.
That's fine. Come Play With Me, Anyone Can Whistle. Everybody Says Don't, Me and My Town.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good to me, Johnny-O.
Yeah.
The play is the you say is the thing. Yes. You wanna play with me? Come on and play with me. Okay, so Me and My Town, where are we putting that?
Me and My Town?
Yeah. I'd say somewhere around perhaps before Impossible.
Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't help that I've forgotten what all of these sound like.
I'll remind you. Everybody Says Don't. After Together Wherever We Go.
Really?
Oh, okay.
No.
Before Together Wherever We Go.
Yeah.
What about, you can't remember invocations and instructions to the audience, can you? That's the please don't cough. It tends to throw the actors off. Okay. See, for me, the fact that you can't remember it, I mean, this is just recency bias, means that it can go there. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right then. So this is, we're nearly at 20 songs, Will, in our Sondheim song canon. Come Play With, right, Anyone Can Whistle. Has to be up in the tom, but that's bumping Come Play With Me.
Yeah.
You really didn't care for it.
I don't think either of these songs are better than some people.
Neither do I. And I would maybe say that, I could slot them in there. Or do you want to move Together Wherever We Go above one of those?
I'll go along with that. I'll go along with that.
That works for me, I think. Yeah, that works for me. Right then. Well, next on our bumper.
Oh, you got me just while we're yawning.
Next on our bumper 60s episode is time for Evening Primrose.
Is it done? Are they gone? Am I alone? I'm alone. It's done. They're gone. I'm a genius. Charles, you are an unadulterated genius. You are an indisputably extraordinary. What was that? Careful, careful. Mustn't get excited. Mustn't overdo it. Softly. Tiptoe. You'll get used to it in no time. Look at it. Beautiful. What a place to live. What a place to write. I shall be inspired. I shall turn out elegies and sonnets, verses by the ton. At last I have a home and nobody will know. No one in the world. Nobody will know I'm here. I am free. I am free.
A delightful little oddity, which we're going to touch upon, because although in itself, it's a bit of as a product, it's not great, and it's a bit weird, and it's not great, and it's just the After Hours episode of The Twilight Zone, but worse. And it has the exact same ending as the Twilight Zone episode, but worse. But it came out after. And it's just, have you seen the Twilight Zone episode, The After Hours? You haven't, have you? You haven't. But that's one of my favorite episodes of that show, and probably one of the best horror 20 minutes of all time. But this is just not that. But then it has genuinely three of my favorite Sondheim songs. I think these three songs are going to crack. I think at least two of them can. I think at least one of them can crack the top 10.
Hello. I hope it's Take Me to the World.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
of course it is. I said, we're only taking 3 from this instead of our normal 4 because, Will, there's only 4 songs in the show. And so I wanted to be somewhat discriminatory. I tried to be discriminatory at all times in my life. So this was a Stage 67 production, a book by James Goldman. It was based off the John Collier short story published in the 1941 collection, Fancies and Good Nights. The way that Sondheim tells it is very simple. Writer James Goldman's wife was about to give birth and he wanted money for a bigger apartment to accommodate the baby. So friend Stephen Sondheim finagled a deal to create an original musical for Stage 67, and the duo rushed to complete it to ensure that Goldman would quickly get a paycheck in hand. That's about it, really. It was telecast in colour, but the original master was lost, and so the only version we have now is this black and white thing. I just can't get over how much it is literally just the After Hours. And I know that the short story came out before that episode, but the imagery of this and the black and again, and I know that it was shot in colour, not black and white, but this is just a musical version of the After Hours. I just can't get over it, really. It has the fate, it has like the people being trapped as mannequins and all that sort of thing. What did you think, Will?
It was fine. It was yeah.
One of those
sort
little oddities.
The unexpected.
Yes.
Sort of.
It was like The Twilight Zone, a musical, which sounds exactly down my alley, of course.
Yeah.
It is in a way. Hey.
Sound like what Adam Sandler in Bedtime Stories.
What about that?
Or maybe Christopher Walken in anything.
No.
Hey.
Don't know about that. Did you know, Will? So this has Anthony Perkins and Charmaine Carr, who are obviously, we know who Anthony Perkins is, but Charmaine Carr, for those not in the know, is of course Liesl. You seem very happy with yourself, Will, that she is Liesl. Did you recognise that she was Liesl?
I did.
Yeah.
And I also really like the sound of music.
I love the sound of music, yes. Charmaine Carr, did you know this, Will? Left showbiz to raise a family after this film and later opened an interior design business. One of her early clients was Michael Jackson, who had such an affinity for Evening Primrose that he decided to furnish his bedroom in his first home with 17 lifelike mannequins, which he and Carr picked out together. How that should be the weirdest thing I ever hear about Michael Jackson, and yet it's like number 20. Yeah. That's like down the list, like so far down.
I rewatched the Louis Theroux the other day.
Oh wow! Not what I thought you were going to say. The Thriller video. Yeah. What's your favorite Louis Theroux?
I mean. Right, Savile was very interesting.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? It's like definitely the weird weekend stuff, like the Swingers and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, the Hamiltons, I think, is up there for me.
Because it's
I really like
fun. They're fun to rewatch. I'm not often finding myself watching
the drug abuse and
like Milwaukee, the heroin capital of the world, or whatever, and you just read the title
Crack
and you're like,
City.
Crack City, dead children on your streets, and you're like, okay, I'm going to watch it, and it's going to be the best thing I'll see this year.
Did you watch his Scientology one?
I thought it was pretty lame.
Really?
It was pretty lame, and I thought it was definitely just a worse version of Going Clear. Going Clear was this excellent Scientology documentary. I'd recommend that, and it sort of felt like him doing his own thing. I mean, it's in the title, My Scientology Movie.
I just enjoyed it for the Tom Cruise impressions.
Yeah, it was enjoyable, and I'm definitely watching it. I wish I'd watched it before. But Going Clear is fascinating.
He's just got a new one out, hasn't he? It came out yesterday.
Probably. He's always around. Opens number by number. This will be quick. It was a 1-hour program taped on an early Sunday morning at the now defunct Stern Brothers department store in Manhattan. Opens with this pulsing heartbeat. And no, let's not talk about Anthony Perkins as Bobby now. Let's save that for the company episodes. But obviously, Anthony Perkins was the original Bobby. If You Can Find Me, I'm Here has been in my ear all fortnight, and I absolutely love it.
That's my number 2.
Yeah. And I was like, I've put here, who would want to do this? And I'm like, I probably would. I mean, it could be quite fun if you can take things.
Yeah.
He's constantly calling himself a genius. Don't. It was directed by Paul Bogart, who I think does a pretty good job in this song. Quite a bland sort of regular TV staging for the rest of the other scenes, but this song is quite dynamically shot.
You know what's very badly staged in a movie musical? What is it called? In Carousel. What's the big one? The like 12-minute long.
Are you trying to say Soliloquy?
Yeah, Soliloquy is very badly staged.
What, just on the beach?
He's just on the beach.
You know that's Hugh Jackman's dream project. He wants to remake Carousel and be Bill.
So he wants to remake Carousel and be Bill. Of course he does.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you should have known that that was the second half of the sentence.
No, I'm all down for that.
Yeah, I'm fully in. I'm fully in. My boy Bill.
With his head held high.
Oh my God, that's Bill over there. You know Bill? You know Bill? That's Bill. That's Bill. Gentlemen. Same brain cell. The same brain cell. This woman could have played June. This woman could have been any of us in Carousel. She knows all of them. She knows King and I. She knows Flower Drum Song. She knows every single Roger the Name. She knows Allegro. She could have done it all. She could have done it all.
Never gets old, does it?
Never gets old. I'm sure that's what the comments will say. Blood-sucking landlords, I think, is a fun lyric. I have a good landlord, but anyway. And then we sort of get into it, and there's like Roscoe Potts, which is a great name, and he goes, "Not bad for a beginner." And you're like, "Oh, okay." I burnt all of my poetry, and it's like, oh God. Then we have this kind of reprise of "Find Me, I'm Here." If you can find me, I'm here. Beautifully set to the tune as he lists the activities. I thought that was a lovely little reprise, I have to say. What did you think of the story itself, Will? This sort of midnight society.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I'm glad that it was only 50 minutes. It flew by for me, I have to say.
It felt like a short story, didn't it? It is a short story.
I'm very thankful that it's never been stretched out or something like that. Don't. I love when he comes down to see Ella and she's just got a voodoo doll going, "Die, Miss Monday, die." He's like, okay, I mean, calm down. And then we get, again, one of the most beautiful songs Sondheim's ever written. I remember trees, which is one of those songs where it has been done and it was a hit for Judy Collins, but like, that's just absolutely so intrinsically linked to this story. Barbara did a version on her Christmas album and Sondheim wrote a new Christmas verse, and it's like, I remember snow and all that sort of thing. He is rather adamant that it's as much Jim Goldman's as mine. The lyric came largely from a Goldman speech for Ella.
That, wouldn't he?
No, but he literally prints the paragraph that the speech is from, and it's like, oh no, definitely. And also, I think it's a lovely thing that Ella is now at a point where she doesn't know if she can trust her memories even. And I think that's quite a haunting thing. I think it's beautiful. Although the crew kept pestering him, composer Stephen Sondheim was blocked when it came to Ella's solo. He went home one night, revised a scripted monologue, set it to music, and emerged with I Remember, only one day before Carl laid down the vocal track for the studio recording. Though this tape ultimately went unused, Carr delivered a better rendition live on the set, so the live version was utilized in the broadcast. I love her smile on her face when she's like, I think I'd gladly die. Very reminiscent of Cabaret, I'm going like Elsie. Somebody once said to me, do you have any direction? They were singing Cabaret, and I said, this isn't a happy song. She is admitting that she would rather die than be, you know, all those things that is happening in that song, and that she sang it happy. But anyway.
Maybe this time.
Oh, great song. Love Cabaret. Solo shots.
Kander and Ev. Great.
Kander and Ev's great, yeah.
Come and see me in another Kander and Ev show.
This will have already been gone.
Hey, Chicago, Curtains, and Cabaret are all one word beginning with C musicals, all by Kander and Ev.
So's the Scottsboro Boys. Oh wait. Just one solo shot, absolutely incredible. Charmaine Carr's sensational. They were supposed to cut to Perkins, but he was like, who on earth would cut away from this? She's sensational. She's incredible. Love her. Like, it's got every writer's fantasy when he's. Oh, what? Sorry, what did you think of I Remember?
It's actually not made in my list.
Oh, this is going to be awkward. No, Will, I remember is not. He's not. I remember is in the top 3. It's not going to be fucking When.
I like When.
I like When too. Should we? We can have When. Do you just want When? We can have When in there if you'd like.
That's really bad. You can have When. Do you like When? You like it so much. Let's put it on. Let's do it. I like it. I'll do my lyric now if I will.
Yes.
Dance. How do you smoke? What is a party? What is a joke?
Yes.
Well, you can I remember. Go for it.
Thank you. I have a lyric from I Remember. I have 2. And the bluest ink really isn't sky. And at times I think I would gladly die for a day of sky. And oh no, no, that's a lie. I don't have 2 from I Remember. But yeah, I think I Remember is a beautiful song. Anyway, boo you. Then so talk about When. Go on, talk about your favorite song in the show.
It's fine.
Then it cuts to Anthony Perkins. I'll phrase it this way. It cuts to a tall, brown-haired writer sat in a hammock wearing tennis gear with Charmaine Carr, and it's the only thing I've ever wanted in my entire life. I love at the little party the 2 old women playing flutes. And then hitting the random guard over the head. Anyway, let's talk about Take Me to the World. Absolutely incredible. That's got to be in our top 10. I don't give a shit.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
Hey. The minute Perkin comes in, I have seen the world. It's mean and ugly. I mean, Jesus. Oh, my God. And then Sondheim's writing about it and he goes, needless to say, the story does not end happily. And I think it is a very tragic song because he has seen the world. The world is shit. Let's just say it as it is. I mean, let's talk about Barbara and Antonio again. They did it on her last duets album. And it's like, take me to the world. Take me to the world. I have seen the world. It's mean and ugly. Antonio Banderas should have been the Phantom, and they should have made it in the 90s.
Oh, wow. He would have been a great Phantom.
That's not like a thing that was actually considered. That's my casting.
Really? Never considered the Phantom?
No. Well, no. He does Phantom of the Opera with Sarah Brightman at that Royal Albert Hall thing, and he's sensational. I think he should have been the Phantom.
Is he a Andrew boy or a Steve boy? I think he's an Andrew boy.
Well, he is obviously the best Shay we've ever had.
Oh, Ricky Martin is the best Shay.
You are not saying that with a straight face.
I genuinely am.
If we do an Evita film episode and you come in with this fucking Ricky Martin, what's her name? Ava. No, not Ava Perron. What's the name of the blonde shouty woman from your production that you like?
I don't know.
And Michael Cerverus. What's the best song in Evita? 3, 2, 1. Rainbow High. Good. What's the second best song in Evita?
Oh no, I don't put me on the spot. Oh yeah, I actually do. Yeah.
3, 2, 1. I'd be surprisingly good for you. Oh no. Doggone, you enthrall me. No, I'd be surprisingly good for you.
Really?
Absolute sexiest.
I think I put Oh What a Circus next.
Say your best, because you got it wrong. Say your best, because you're having a look. The queen is dead. The king is here. She's not coming back to you.
Great.
No, I'd be surprisingly good for you. One of the most beautiful, one of the most erotic songs ever written.
You Must Love Me was very good.
Yes. Where do we go from
here? Oh, but it's got to be. Would you like to try college education?
Put your name in the dream or the card, the pad or the ticket.
Whoopa!
Whoopa!
It's great.
What's great? Anyway, Craig Zidane calls it a horror musical, and I'd have to agree. Anyway, here's some reviews. Jack Gold, tripped over its own inordinate complexity. The songs showed a hint of melodic sweetness, but the score as a whole proved richer in promise than in realization. Though they all were simply too much alike. Ben Gross, the book was literal enough. The music and lyrics, although passable, were in no way as good as the lyrics Sondheim wrote for West Side Story and Gypsy, and his own music alike lacks the bounce of the tune he wrote for Forum. Although it had an appealing basic idea, Primrose was a flower that withered before it could bloom. These are pretty brutal reviews for a 50-minute.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, Anthony, because also, let's be honest, Sondheim could have pulled his finger, like, could have, what's the opposite? Yeah, kept his finger in. Sorry. But he could have put his foot off the gas and written for fairly serviceable songs for this mini TV musical. But arguably, he wrote one of his best duets.
I would say so.
Yeah, like
with,
that.
When?
We should do more late night recording because it's definitely more zany. Anthony Perkins doesn't hold back. It was one of the worst series ever filmed. I think our project suffered somewhat from being a part of it, and it came off a little stiff because they insisted on doing it on tape instead of film. So he's putting the entirety of the blame onto Studio 67. Production history. There isn't really one. It's had some small stagings. Mandy Patinkin and Bernadette Peters recorded all 4 of the songs for his album Dress Casual, which was the first time that those songs were ever released on CD, I believe. And that will be the version of Take Me to the World that will feature on our playlist. Spoilers. Top 5 lyrics. I have other lyrics. I have where birds that make a sound are birds. Beautiful.
Really?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's got to be entirely in the context of this show.
Yeah.
But that hit me. Anyway. Goodbye, my friends, and good riddance. Pardon while I disappear. Come see me soon in my hideaway. If you can find me, I'm here. Lovely. Any lyrics? Well, any other lyrics?
I've got no more lyrics.
No more lyrics. And we know what our top 3 songs are. Let's take them through now. Come find me here in my hideaway. If you can find me, I'm here. And I'm free. So, okay, so let's see where Take Me to the... No. Let's go from the bottom like always. Where are we cutting off? Let's say, I remember Below Me in My Town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's Lovely Reprise?
Oh, you fucking bastard. That's from bloody Funny Thing. Are you doing this on purpose?
Yeah.
What was the song I wanted that to be? Pretty Little Picture. Great, better song. Anyway, I'll allow it. Then, if you can find me, I'm here. I'd say I really enjoyed it over this fortnight. I have to say, I'd probably say it's better than Everybody Says Don't.
I would. What is it? Wherever we go.
Wherever we go. No, I love Gypsy so much. That, like, 2 weeks I spent with Gypsy getting ready for the episode. That is like one of my favorite songs of all time. Sorry, one of my favorite. I mean, I loved it before, but that's just like unequivocally in my top 10. My roommates are around. There's a loud, shrill noise.
Is that
No.
Sutton Foster?
Oh, I wish. No, I don't wish. I don't wish. She comes in. Is she still with Bobby Cannavale? No, because Bobby Cannavale is with Rose Byrne. That is a power couple. That is like legitimately one of the most attractive women in modern life with one of the most attractive men. And it's just like, you two just go at it. You two just have your, and they're both actors. And they're both going to be in Medea, I think. and it's just like you two just rule the world. Take me to the world then, Will. Okay, here we go. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah.
Better than somewhere. Better than a boy like that.
Let me just listen to it again.
Take me to the world with clouds. Let me see the world. Do 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 do. I can see with clouds. Take me to the world. I have seen the world. It's mean and ugly. Okay, Will has listened to it again. Will, it's up to you. You know where I stand. So I want it right. I'm gonna say this now. I want it 9 or above.
I want it. I think it could top Something's Coming for me.
You want it at number 2?
I do. I do want it at number 2. Oh, I mean, number 1, in my opinion.
Sorry, I've just realised I let you have Everybody Ought to Ever Made over Everything's Coming Up Roses, and I want to shoot myself in the head. I'm gonna say yes, because it goes to what we're talking about with, I feel a lot more comfortable. I feel so much more comfortable with what do you call it? With some, I know it's like just undermining his lyrics, but I feel so much more comfortable with Sondheim music and lyric songs filling out our top 5.
Yeah. I think it's better than Rose's turn, personally.
That's not happening.
Okay.
I know what song. What's the? There are company songs that will top Rose's turn.
I think there's Sweeney Todd songs that will top Rose's turn.
Yeah, but there's Company's our next show.
Sorry. I think Take Me to the World is very reminiscent of a Bricuse song.
Of a Bricuse?
Leslie Bricuse.
Who's Leslie Bricuse?
Is that what he's called? He wrote Jekyll and Hyde.
Oh.
And Pure Imagination.
Take me to the world. Your imagination. Right then, Will, you opened this little 3 musical serenade. Do you need a wee?
No,
just uncomfortable.
I kept my foot in my desk.
You opened this by saying that you've fallen in love with Do I Hear a Waltz? Tell me about it.
Do I hear a waltz? Very odd, but I hear a waltz. There isn't a band, and I don't understand it at all. I can't hear a waltz. Oh my Lord, there it goes again. Why is nobody dancing in the street? Can't they hear the beat? Magical, mystical, miracle, can it be? Is it true? Things are impossibly lyrical. Is it me? No, it's you. I do hear a waltz. I see you and I hear a waltz. It's what I've been waiting for all my life, to hear a waltz.
I think it was just very romantic. And I love Rodgers and Hammerstein. Love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And it was very, 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 very Rodgers. I should have written it down. There was one song in particular where I was like, yeah, it's one of those, you know, when you hear a song, you're like, that's Sondheim. That's Leggetter Whoever.
And you were thinking that's Rodgers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it could be any of them for me. I think there's a strong Rodgers overcurrent through them all, I dare say. Come find me soon in my hideaway. But I've still in my head only got Take Me to the World. Anyway, let's talk about Do I Hear To the World. I've seen the world, it's mean and ugly. So this comes from the Arthur Lawrence play, The Time of the Cuckoo, that gets its title perhaps from the fact that a cuckoo bird invades other people's spaces. It doesn't cohabitate. It was written for Shirley Booth, and it's rather progressive material. It's an alcoholic single woman. Just not really a thing that you see often. It was made into the movie Summertime, directed by David Lean, starring Katharine Hepburn. A fine film that I watched and I enjoyed. And it was beautiful to look at in Venice. Katharine Hepburn's excellent as always. Not my favourite Lean by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, that's more or less my review. However, they only really did the first act of the show. Because as Katharine Hepburn puts it, I would never be told off. The woman is told off in your play. I would never be told off. So, I mean, there's no way around it. It was a bad experience for most involved. Bert Shevelov said, the original intention was to do something that would make a lot of money. If I were to list all of Steve's works, I would never list Waltz. Although there are some good lyrics, as far as I'm concerned, it was streetwalking. Comparing him there to whoring himself out. There's a great interview, which I think I sent you. I don't know if you had time to watch it, but it's Lawrence, Sondheim, and the set designer in 60 whatever for the play, for the musical. And one of the first things Arthur Lawrence says is, doing a musical is a kind of hell. And you just hope it'll be worth it all in the end. And this one really wasn't. But I agree. I like my 4 songs.
I'm going to remove my previous statement saying I fell in love. I was charmed by Do I Hear a Waltz.
Yes, I agree.
You charmed me.
Lovely evening at the theatre. Woman leaves sad but wiser. That sort of
Italian.
Italian. Oh yes, it was. That's why I was so excited to watch Summertime. I was like, oh great, an excuse to watch this movie, because I was like David Lean in Venice, in Italy, and I thought it was going to be like, you know, him shooting Lawrence of Arabia, like him shooting Chicago. I thought, oh, he's going to shoot Venice, this incredible city. It's just like, it's all right. I mean, it's letterboxed as well, not widescreen, and that's another thing. But anyway. The discussion, so basically they discuss in this interview the age difference between Katharine Hepburn and Shirley Booth versus Elizabeth Allen, who played the role in the show, and how Katharine Hepburn and Shirley Booth plays it off in the film and the play as it sort of comes off as it's her last chance at romance, whereas with Elizabeth Allen it begs the question, why is she single? And there's this interviewer here talking to two, well, not openly gay men, 2 gay men, saying, well, that should stir the interest of every man in the audience. And Lawrence just stays quiet, smoking a cigarette, and Sondheim goes, well, I imagine it should. And then I Googled the set designer as well to find out if he was gay, to be even more awkward. And I found this, that he had a long-term affair with the writer Anne Cumming in the 1950s while she was married, and also had many other gay and straight affairs. So there's this wonderful moment where this interviewer goes, oh, a single woman, the men must be rather interested. Lawrence rued the casting. He felt Alan was too young and colourless, and that Franchi couldn't act, and ignored all the ongoing problems in favour of making his dream a reality. But most of all, he regretted the break in his friendship with Sondheim after the show. Whereas in the Camera 3 interview, he says, I think it's the best acting company that's ever been in a musical.
Oh, okay.
And Sondheim goes, hear, hear. So, I mean, I don't blame them. They were trying to promote a show. They don't want to say, I hate everybody and I hate it all. Let's go number by number. Someone Woke Up. I think an incredible opening.
Oh, absolutely.
I think for me, this show wanes as it goes on.
I'm going to jump the gun. It's in my top 3.
I've
only written 3.
You've only written 3.
I will quickly pick one as we speak.
I'm going to reveal something to you, Will. My first 3 songs in my top 4 are these first 3 songs. I think this is an incredible opening. Someone Woke Up, This Week Americans, and What Do We Do We Fly are 3 of my 4. Now, they are quite loose, and I would be willing to knock about.
I will.
But I can't help but go with that's how I felt listening to this over and over again.
That's fine. You do you, Tom.
I love on the original Broadway, hey lady, you're a girl, fall in. And then what can only be described as a cackle of Italian laughter. Lawrence relays the story of Richard Rogers. Sorry. I should say we should have done all of this preamble. Oscar was ready to do it. Hammerstein was ready to do it with Rogers. He was writing for Mary Martin. However, he felt that it was too close to the release of the film. And so he wanted to wait 5 years. And of course, as we all know, in those 5 years, he died. And Sondheim has said many times that he felt somewhat indebted to Oscar Hammerstein, and that to fulfill the legacy of their friendship, he should write with Richard Rogers. And of course, it just wasn't a pleasant experience for any of them. And we've got more anecdotes there, and one of them is here. Lawrence relays a story of Roger looking at the lyric sheet for an unnamed song and saying, this is shit. Lawrence continues, needless to say, the lyric was a great deal better than the tune.
Oh, it's very good.
I can't help, maybe this is just me being stereotypical, but Lawrence, I just cannot help, because Lawrence was a smoker, and every time he says something like vaguely bitchy in these interviews, I just can't help but see him go, needless to say, the lyric was better than the tune. His memoir is excellent, by the way. Original story, very, very good. Anyway, it's got the same ending as Everything's Coming Up Roses. He does the same trick. The everything's coming up, sunshine and lollipops, everything's coming up. Whereas in this, it's the just so Leona could come here and stand like a fool. And yeah, same trick. And it builds the tension, and it's absolutely great. Just so Leona could stand here like a lump, dripping wet with no shoes on at noon on a Monday. And
that's in my, I'm going to jump a lyric. That's one of my lyrics, what you've just sung. It's very on the steps of the palace for me.
Yeah, it's those patter songs. It's the build
in the goo.
In the goo, in the mud. This week, Americans. This week, Americans. Signor Farina. Delightful character, great song. And it's in my top 4.
Great song.
Good song. What Do We Do? We Fly. Great song again.
What?
Eddie and Jennifer and the McElhennys, a middle-aged couple on a package holiday. Sondheim. Once he had put the music down on paper, this is about Rogers again, he adamantly refused to reconsider even one note of it. He was afraid that he had no other notes in his reserve anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not a fun time writing the show.
No. Wow.
And then for me, Sondheim says that this song, as well as being a funny song and introducing those characters, works to build the loneliness of Leona, because it's like, okay, these people are having a terrible time together. What do? We fly. What do we do? She says this, I say this. And obviously their relationship is terribly, terribly flawed. But the first thing that she is met with, it's forgetting Sarah Marshall. It's like the first thing everybody says to them is, wait, you came on your own? It's just like people say this to me, single guy, why do you want to go? You should go traveling. I've just realized right now in this second, I am now going to end up going traveling on my own with the cruise thing. But anyway, but I've always been like, No. Don't want to go. I don't want to travel alone. There's no interest for me there. Alone.
I'll travel with you, Tom. Right.
Oh. Well, you're doing well anyway. We'll have to give it another year now. So around this time for me, you're wondering why this was a bit of a critical bomb.
Mm.
And then it continues, and every song stops popping. That's the way I described it. Like, there are some songs that I like, again, but they stop being as good as those first three for me. Like Someone Like You, completely bland, nothing song for me. And Moon in My Window, a nice song, but terribly, terribly bland. Stay, terribly, terribly bland, nothing song. Moon in My Window is in your top 4, isn't it, Will?
Yeah.
I take it back. Moon in My Window is not that bad. It's just not as good as my favorite 3 female characters sing a song. What's that song called? I'm becoming a mime.
Oh yeah, Learning to Be Silent.
Learning to Be Silent. Yes, from Footloose that we were both in, Will.
I love Footloose. It's a great show.
Great show. I watched that with somebody the other night, Will, and they said, Will's really good.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh, thank you.
The production wasn't great. Bargaining. Lovely Patter song. I'm going to take a wild guess this is in your top 4.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I love Bargaining.
Yeah. Patter song that Sondheim wanted to cut from later productions. Sondheim wrote the song because he worried at this point that De Rossi's charm was quite placid and quite plain, and it needed to be a showstopper, and it was not. And I'm sorry, Stevie, I agree. Well, no, actually, more so I'm sorry, Will. I think it's a fine, fun song. Fine, fun song. Here we are again. Again, a fine song. Sondheim is quick to note, because I think nobody's ever noticed. Here, Leona refers to herself as a cookie, which is her term for strangers. And not. If they're breathing, then they're cookies. Not bloody anyone can whistle. But I think that's a quick she sees herself as a stranger, which is a very clever idea. Again, I've been thinking. It's just thinking, a fine song. Stop me if there's one of these that you have something to say. Where did your charm and all this sort of thing? Where are these songs?
Oh, as you said in the first 3.
And then thinking, again, a fine song. No understand. Sondheim. This is a quote from Sondheim. How many jokes and how much charm can you make from unidiomatic English? Not enough to sustain a whole evening, as it turned out. And then in the plot wise, this ends with Eddie and Fiora going off to make love in a gondola. And then take the moment.
Love in a gondola?
That it reminds me very much of the Woody Allen Midsummer Night's Sex comedy joke. I lost my virginity in a hammock. How? Very good balance. Just great stuff. It just all sort of stops popping. I'm happy with us putting 4 songs on if we want, but I can do 3 if you prefer.
Wow, that's how you feel about
It's
it.
just so bland. Because even the song that could have been really funny, We're Gonna Be All Right. Let's talk about that now. Eddie and Jennifer lying to themselves in denial. It's a funny song as it is, but the original lyric is hilarious. And he went to Rogers with it, and it's dirty, and it's a bit rude, and it's a bit very progressive. And he went to Rogers with it, who hugged him and found it great. And then Lawrence said, Dick will shoot you. He's not going to let you do that lyric. Overnight, suddenly Rogers lost all love for it. And Sondheim believes that he had talked with his wife, Dorothy, who he describes both dedicated homophobes, despite his best friend being Lorenz Hart, fully gay. Sondheim, who I don't think he was out. I mean, I'm sure Lawrence knew. I'm sure the gay people knew at that time. I don't think Arthur Lawrence hid it in that sort of time. So again, did Richard Rodgers know that all of his best friends were gay people, or did he just turn a blind eye? I don't know.
Was Richard Rodgers not a fan of the gays?
The gays? No. Sondheim, as I just said, Sondheim describes him and his wife as dedicated homophobes, which does sound like a fun band name. But these are from the original song. Great lyrics. You take a lover, I'll take a lover. When that's played out, they get the axe. We can retire, sit by the fire, fade out. You know, if it all went wrong, but where? Details are slightly cynical. She's out in Reno. The kids adored the flight. Like, these are great jokes talking about getting a divorce. And my absolute favorite, which was definitely the tipping point for them, was in my lyrics. She's nice and sweet and dead. He's tall and intellectual. They look delicious. They're gonna be all right. Sometimes she drinks in bed. Sometimes he's homosexual. But why be vicious? They keep it out of sight. Just like funny stuff. Just really funny lyrics. I think that's put back in new productions. Along with the song Everybody Loves Leona. A fine song. Again, a fine song. Then we get to the titular song, Do I Hear a Waltz? A lovely waltz. What are your top 4?
Moon in My Window.
Yeah.
Someone Woke Up. This is in no particular order, by the way.
Of course.
Bargaining.
Yeah.
And This Week Americans.
Okay, so I had Someone Woke Up, This Week Americans. What Do We Do with Flying? Do I Hear a Waltz? 1 minute, we're way jumping the gun. Original Sondheim idea was that Leona wouldn't sing until the end because the whole show is about her finding her voice.
Oh, that's funny. I like that.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
But it's also like
musical.
But it's like, yeah, your leading lady isn't going to sing a damn song. It was nominated for Tony Awards. Elizabeth Allen was nominated, didn't win. Nominated for Best Original Score, didn't win. And nominated for Best Scenic Design. As I just said, it lost in all 3. Made a regional theatrical debut and it toured and all that sort of thing. Oh, pardon me. In 1997, pardon me. In 1997, Sondheim was sent a recording of a concert version of Do I Hear a Waltz that had been presented in London. It was then when he realised the original play did lend itself to a musical adaptation, bit late, Steve, thanks, but the score Rodgers composed wasn't very good. He enthusiastically contacted Lawrence and the two discussed changes that could be made to improve the show. For this production, he dropped the dropped song Everybody Loves Leona was restored, lyrics were altered and added, and Lawrence revamped the book quite a bit. And it is put on quite a bit now. But it's just like, I mean, how much, I mean, unless they literally, I mean, Sondheim's dead, but like, I mean, unless he literally, he's just said, Rodgers didn't write a very good score. So, unless you rewrite the whole score,
yeah,
the lyrics aren't the problem, Steve. Dreamcasts. Anne Bancroft was reported in a gossip column. I'd be down. Lord knows I'd be down. Top 5 lyrics. Some cry at weddings, some at the moon. I cry promptly, Mondays at high noon. Yourself?
Same song. It starts the minute you check in. Departure time is at noon. A cup of tea and a schnecken, and quick, it's leaving soon.
Reminds me of the birdcage. Well, if the schmecken beckons. Perhaps one more schmecken. Good eggs the English, rotten legs the English, all those teeth the English, rose and rose and rose. I want to break this down. Why the stereotype of English having bad teeth, where does that come from?
The Americans.
Yeah, I know. But like, we don't have bad teeth.
No, it's maybe because they have really good teeth. Not good, but very artificially white teeth. I don't know. Do we have bad teeth?
I don't. We don't.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anything that is white is sweet. Anything that is brown is meat. Anything that is grey, don't eat.
Yeah.
Any other lyrics, Will?
No.
No. We'll end. This is a quote from Sondheim. Friendship, greed, and obligation are not good enough reasons to write anything. And Richard Rodgers, the first time I saw him was when I was working on Oklahoma in 1942. I watched him grow from an attractive little boy to a monster.
Is that about Sondheim?
Yes.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. So it's really turned me off Richard Rodgers, I have to say.
Yeah, I really. Oh no.
But in Finishing the Hat and all the lyrics books, he's constantly still praising. I think it was a disappointment. Sondheim idolizes those big five shows, especially Carousel and South Pacific. And I think he was disappointed. I think he probably in his life always wanted to write a show with Oscar. However, Oscar's greatest strong suit, and perhaps Sondheim's greatest strong suit, I mean, you're pulling straws really, saying that Sondheim's music's better than his lyrics. I think they're both obviously insanely good. But he couldn't really write a show with Oscar because I don't, as just a strict composer, that's not his strong suit anyway.
Yeah.
But so he got somewhat of a possibility with Richard Rodgers, but he was just kind of past it, and he didn't really care, and all that sort of thing. And obviously he was an arsehole and a dedicated homophobe, as we know. Right, top four songs then. So Someone Woke Up and This Week Americans are locked in. Then you had Bargaining and Moon in My Window. We
can get rid of Moon in My Window if you like.
Yeah, go on then. And if we're doing Bargaining, then let's lose What Do We Do We Fly, because that's sort of the same song. Okay. So Do I Hear a Waltz, Someone Woke Up, This Week Americans, Bargaining. Now, do you want to lose one of those?
Can we have What Do We Do We Fly instead of Bargaining?
I'm ready to cut Bargaining.
Yeah, I think I've decided, but I'm just reading my lyrics. I like it. It's funny.
So you want to do What Do We Do We Fly?
Yeah.
But when it comes to skipping, when I'm listening to this playlist, I know where I'm going to be skipping. But this is these songs. No, I don't know. This is our last chance, Will, before they're put into the list. Is there any, of those four, is there any that were just like, I'm fine?
No.
All right, let's keep them then. You know what? Who cares how long a playlist is? You know, don't listen to it. Okay then. So, I mean, these are going to be definitely below the bottom now. Have you got it up?
Yeah.
Right. What do we do? Oh, is this the rank? What's the ranking of the four songs themselves?
I would say, what do you think of Do I Hear a Waltz?
I can put that at number 4.
Yeah. And then I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Right, Do I Hear a Waltz? Below Sooner or Later for me.
Yep.
Sooner or later, you're gonna be mine. Which I do love. Because it's Madonna. Evil. Holiday. Oh, everybody thinks it's Holiday, but it's actually Lucky Star. Oh, I love. I'm looking here. I don't want to put any of these 3 songs above I Remember. Do you?
No.
No, me neither. Yeah. What about Love Is in the Air? Do you want any above Love Is in the Air?
What's that one again?
Love is in the air, quite clearly.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
What is it? If you wanna keep your service, oh no, sorry, it's the virgins are distinctly nervous. Love is going around.
I think they're all better than Love Is in the Air.
Yeah, they're all better than Love Is in the Air.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they probably are. Okay, then I think that's the ranking. I don't care if they're all back to back to back to back. I think that's. Or do you want to do some more moving around?
No, just so we're making this Spotify playlist, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the order of the Spotify playlist? This. What is it? Just
Will's frozen. Will's back. Go on. The order, yes, the Spotify playlist.
So it's just gonna slowly, progressively get worse.
No, because you shuffle it.
All right, okay. Oh yeah.
And none of these songs.
Order my playlists. I like to purposefully put orders to them.
This is an order. This is the most purposeful order ever.
Okay.
And also, none of them are like. It's not like bad, is it? Like Lovely Reprise is a song I'll listen to.
I hope so. Better do. 4 times over that.
Sing Lovely Reprise for me right now.
It could be lovely.
No. Sing Pretty Little Picture for me right now.
You're a pretty little picture.
No. Pretty little picture, I do. Pretty little picture, dee. Anyway, we're just literally pissing on his grave with the whole hummable melodies thing, aren't we? Yeah, I think that's solid. Okay, we'll go back and forth. Here we go. Top of the pops. 27, Lovely Reprise.
26, Can That Boy Foxtrot.
25, Do I Hear a Waltz?
24, Sooner or Later.
23, Love Is in the Air.
22, What Do We Do? We Fly.
21, This Week Americans.
20, Someone Woke Up.
19, I Remember.
18, Me and My Town.
17, Impossible.
16, Invocations and Instruction to the Audience.
15, Everybody Says Don't.
14, If You Can Find Me, I'm Here.
13, Together, Wherever We Go.
Oh, 12, Anyone Can Whistle. Actually, we'll stop there. Can you whistle?
I can't when I laugh. You?
No.
Number 11, Come Play With Me.
Number 10, Some People.
9, Somewhere.
Oh, 8, A Boy Like That / I Have a Love.
7, Tonight Quintet.
6, Comedy Tonight.
5, Everything's Coming of Roses.
4, Everybody Ought to Have a Maid.
3, Something's Coming, I Don't Know.
2, Take Me to the World.
No, that's not how it goes.
I did that on purpose.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Rose's turn.
No, you were supposed to sing Take Me to the World, really. 3, 2, 1.
Take me to the... That's it.
No, it's Take Me to the World with Clouds. Let me see the world. And number 1, somebody tell me when is it my turn? Don't I get a dream for myself? Starting now, it's going to be my turn. Gangway wall, get off of my runway. Starting now, I bet 1,000 this time, boys. I'm taking the bows and it's Rose's turn. This time, it's Rose's turn.
Rosa? Is it Rose's turn?
Will, can I congratulate you that you got through 2 hours without making the joke that you said you were going to make? Evening, Primrose.
Oh, hello, Vera.
Well done, Will.
Okay.
Next week starts Company. We're doing 3 Company episodes. Company 2011 concert production. Then Company.
Yes.
Sorry?
Someone
to
hold you too close.
Oh my God.
Someone
Is right.
to force you to care. Someone to make you come through.
Did you ever watch Marriage Story?
No.
That was like bullying. Noah Baumbach was bullying me. I was out of a breakup. And apart from the cheating, Charlie's me. Like literally all of my worst tendencies are his. And that's just like, if anybody wants to date me, just like, that's probably a bad thing to say. Sorry, but it's true. And like, yeah. And then like to watch him weep and then just sing Being Alive was just like Noah Baumbach bullying me. It was just like, yeah, I'm sorry, Tom. Anyway, 3 Company episodes. Company 2011 concert production. We're going to look at Company, the musical as itself. Company, other productions. We're going to be looking at, guess what? Other productions. And it's in that episode. Oh, sorry. In Company 2011, that's when we're going to be talking about our favorite lyrics. And in Company, at the end of other productions, after spending 2 episodes with it, that's when we're going to pick our top 4 songs. And then, after spending a long time with it. And then original cast album Company, one of my favorite 50 minutes of all time. Just sensational. I'm just screaming. Anyway, we'll get to it when we get to it. And then it's Follies time, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. I think this is where we're now. This next. Oh, because I fucking love Assassins as well.
I'm very excited for Assassins.
I've more or less enjoyed I enjoy all of these, more or less, apart from Dwyer or Waltz, apparently. Swallow time. See you for Company. Oh, Company. Sorry, I did it wrong, didn't I? I just did normal Company. I should have done Company. Bye.
Bye.
Dabba 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 da da ba 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 ba.